Listen, I know my grandmother meant a lot to you, but let's not pretend that there's anything left for me here. Our family is finished." My voice cracked at the last word, which threw me off guard. I hoped Miles didn't hear my last sentence, but from the small quirk of his eyebrow, regret filled my chest. He'd heard. I cleared my throat. "Thank you for taking care of my grandmother in the last moments of her life." I brushed my hands down my black dress, desperate for something to do. The mixture of my grandmother's coffin in front of me and the way Miles was studying me tugged at the fraying strands that were barely holding my life together. But I knew if I didn't thank him, the pressure to acknowledge that he was the better grandchild would gnaw at me until I would eventually buy another plane ticket to come down here and confess it. I wanted this to be the last trip I made to my godforsaken hometown. I needed to make sure I tied up all my loose ends with a pretty little bow.
"Of course," Miles said. "She helped me a lot."
His voice deepened as he turned to face the hole where my grandmother now lay. His shoulders slumped, and I suddenly felt sorry. I felt sorry for him. I felt sorry for my grandmother. And I felt sorry for me. No one had it perfect. We'd messed up so bad that sometimes the best thing to do was to call a foul and walk away. And that's what I was determined to do. My phone dinged, startling us both. I lifted it up so I could see the screen. "My ride's here," I whispered. Miles pushed his hands through his hair once more and nodded.
"Yeah, okay."
Then he paused. I could see in his body language that he wanted to say something more, and I had a sinking suspicion as to what that was. Problem was, there was no way I was ready to hear any of it. "It's been nice knowing you," I said. And before I could stop myself, I reached out and rested my hand on his arm. His warm skin shocked my fingertips, and I blinked and pulled my hand back, cursing myself for doing that. What was wrong with me? Miles's gaze dropped down to the spot I had touched before he brought his gaze up to meet mine. His dark blue eyes had turned stormy, which caused my stomach to flip-flop. My phone chimed again, pulling me from my thoughts. I pushed my purse strap higher up onto my shoulder and then gave him a weak smile. "Goodbye, Miles," I said as I stepped around him. He didn't say anything as I passed by. It wasn't until I'd stepped out into the rain, raising my purse up over my head, that I heard his response.
"Goodbye, Shelby."
Like a dam breaking inside of me, the tears began to flow. I was grateful for the rain now more than ever. My tears mixed with the water running down my face as I crossed the cemetery lawn and pulled open the door of the black SUV. The man asked for my name, and I managed to get that out. He didn't say much else as he put the car into drive and took off down the small, one-lane road that led to Main Street. Thankfully, he didn't ask me what was wrong. Being picked up at a cemetery seemed to be all he needed to know. Hiding under that excuse, I allowed the tears that had refused to fall all of this time to flow. I was hurt. I was broken. And for this moment, I was going to allow myself to be weak. As soon as I got back to New York, I'd forget. But for now, I didn't have the strength.